They don't want that free blues. Yo, welcome back to Free Blues Boxing. Hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell for unlimited boxing content. We are bike. Yo, what up, world of boxing? Oh boy. Did anyone see the chaos? May 8th, four-division world champion, also recognized as a pound-for-pound best, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Canelo gets invaded by Andrade in this post-fight press conference. Andrade, a current world champion at the middleweight division. He holds the WBO belt and has been holding it for a while, since 2018. Now, the post-fight press conference was wild. Canelo Alvarez just defeated Billy Joe Saunders for the super middleweight championship bout. Canelo snatches away Billy Joe Saunders' WBO belt with also the WBC and WBA marbles on the line. Canelo looked impressive. He looked just as explosive as he always does, and he broke Billy Joe Saunders' face. It was a beautiful counter uppercut, and it landed right on the money. Beautiful shot. If you don't know by now, Andrade is probably the #1, maybe top 3, top 5 trolls as a boxer in the game. He shows up to the fight in a Billy Joe Saunders. It's a shirt that said, Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo are scared to fight me. If you don't know by now, I would say the past few years, Andrade has been calling out the top guys, Triple G, Canelo especially, and claims that Triple G and Canelo are ducking him. Demetrius Andrade, one of my favorite fighters. He's been at the top of the game for a minute. He is still undefeated, 30-0, and that's also with a 60% knockout ratio. Now, he is 33 years old. I understand that the time is ticking. He pulls up on Canelo after the fight. He says, his very first question, when can we get something on? Canelo obviously recognized him immediately. It was just like, oh my God, and started laughing. But one thing I want to point out is that Andrade was very respectful from the start. Now, it can come off disrespectful because, and that's what Canelo said. Canelo's like, it's my night. Like, he's basically like, what are you doing here? One thing I want to point out is that Andrade is at the middleweight division, which is one weight class under Canelo. Canelo has pointed out on several occasions that he wants to be the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. By the way, I'm really hoping that Canelo and Caleb Plant can get it on for all 4 of the marbles. Caleb Plant, one of my favorite fighters, he currently holds the IBF belt, and we're ready for basically his step-up fight. Hopefully it is Canelo sometime September, October. But anyways, Andrade told Canelo that, congratulations, I'm a big fan. Congratulations on your fight. And Canelo's like, oh yeah, I know. Canelo's like, oh, I know. And then, Demetrius Andrade, he's really pushing for this big Canelo fight. And Canelo was just like, no, get the F out of here. Canelo states, you have not fought anybody. He said, I'm gonna F you up. And then at this point, I don't know if that was Andrade's trainer or just someone in his staff. He didn't take it lightly. And he was just like, no, you a B word and all that. So they were just pretty much just yelling at each other. And then Andrade was just like, come on, man, watch your mouth. He was just like, watch your mouth as security was putting him out. But the thing for me is that Canelo has never really showed too much emotion or showed personality. And that's what blew us all away. I mean, he normally does not talk English. He refuses to speak English. He's from Guadalajara, Mexico. And, he tends to his crowd, and he doesn't really show too much emotion for real. So Canelo was just like, yeah, whatever. You just want a payday. And, I see both sides. Andrade's obviously frustrated that nobody will fight him. Canelo is currently at the super middleweight division, and, he has his agenda, as I said. And what could Canelo gain by fighting Demetrius Andrade? It honestly would be a high risk, no reward. Now, I do believe I would say it's about 2 or 3 fighters currently that will give Canelo his best work, and Andrade is one of them. He's a southpaw. He's slick. He has beautiful footwork. He throws beautiful power punches. He's got a very high boxing IQ. But it's unfortunate that Andrade cannot get a fight. He has fought some good fighters such as Selecki, but I mean, compared to Canelo's resume, it's nobody. Canelo has fought a long list of champions: Danny Jacobs, Caleb Smith, Kovalev, Triple G, Khan, Cotto. And we get all that. If Canelo retires today, he is going to go down as a Hall of Fame boxer. His record is like 60-1, and his only loss is to the great Floyd Mayweather. I mean, like I said, he is pound for pound for a reason. He's won several belts in 4 different weight classes, all the way from down from light middleweight all the way to light heavyweight. However way you want to look at the best boxers on the planet, whether it be Terrence Crawford or Canelo 1A, 1B. Canelo is the young OG, and he is one of the current faces of boxing, along with a few others, whether you could say Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua or Gervonta Tank Davis. I mean, we'll probably never see another fighter like Canelo. To be honest, he's, in basketball terms, he's like the Russell Westbrook of boxing. Every fight, he looks explosive, comes to fight, and he puts on a phenomenal performance. So in Canelo's mind, he's just like, Andre, you just want to fight me because you want a payday. You want your first big fight, and you really have nothing to offer. You have no money. And to be honest, that leaves Demetrius Andrade as a world champion. But honestly, Andrade needs to move up to 168. And he also said that he does like Caleb Plant. They're cool and all, but he doesn't think Caleb Plant's going to be the one to whoop Canelo. There's plenty of fights to be made. And then we could talk about Andrade and the Charlo situation. Eddie Hearn had offered Charlo $7 million to fight Andrade. Andrade has done this before. He's been to Charlo's post-fight press conference as well, and was demanding fights. Like he's been for years. He's been trying to get these guys to get in the ring with him. I have to say, Andrade is one of the most duck fighters in the boxing game. What makes it frustrating even more is that these fighters are on the same platform as him and won't get in the ring. Triple G and Canelo should have been guy in the ring with Andrade, but if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. So you almost can't blame him. It's going to be very important how Eddie Hearn guides Demetrius Andrade's career for these next couple years. Demetrius Andrade, he just beat some guy, and he had to basically kill himself to make the weight. Just because he's trying to stay at 160 for as long as he can to try to get that Triple G fight. But Triple G will not get in there with him. He's over there fighting guys like Deverenchenko, and Triple G he's on the back end of his career. But yeah, it's inevitable. I understand that promoters are trying to build up the fight, or they can't come into an agreement and make these big fights happen. That's what makes the boxing world so confusing. We want to see all the mega fights. We want to see the best fight the best. Now, Eddie Hearn is Andrade and Canelo's promoter, but if Canelo does not want to fight Andrade, then he can't make that fight happen. There has to be an agreement. But in the meantime, like I said, Andrade needs to stay busy. He needs to keep getting his fame up. And keep putting himself out there, keep going to Canelo and Triple G's fights, and even to as you can see here, the post-fight press conference, and eventually they got to make something happen. I respect Canelo, what he's been through and who he's fought, and just how far he has come as a fighter. I mean, come on, he fought Floyd Money Mayweather when he was 22, and he hasn't lost ever since. He's beat other guys, like I said, Cotto, Amir Khan, a long list of guys that are going to go down in the Boxing Hall of Fame. There's a couple guys that I think would be Canelo's toughest challenges, and that is Caleb Plant and Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. They make these fights happen. I'm going to lose my marbles. These are going to go down as Fight of the Year candidates. Too many elite boxers. The middleweight division is on fire. The super middleweight division is on fire as well. And we'll just have to see. Put in the comment section who you think will win in a mega fight between Caleb Plant versus Canelo for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world. They don't want that free blues. Yo, thank you for watching Free Blues Boxing. Hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell for unlimited boxing content. Until next time.